great hot start for those boys.
Yeah, and for everyone else on the server, just heat at their feet. What a zone to play. That was tough. I want to know exactly who's second, who came fifth, because everyone is down at the same time. Zeke, Levin, Reese, what do you guys have for us?
The first game of day number 2 of the finals, and it goes over to Mr. Savage, Levin. I never thought I would see this, but here we are.
You can never count them out. You can never count out. They won a game yesterday, and they've started off today incredibly well. And look, that's the kind of game which, as a hype team, as much as they won, they'll be a bit frustrated, right? In the sense of when you get hype and it's going across crazy terrain, you know, it's so difficult for you to get as many eliminations as you'd want, right? You know, typically, if you told me like a team stayed on hype for that long as they did, you'd think, oh, they must have gone, you know, maybe 12 plus eliminations. They must have had a field of a time, but it just gets so walk around, they can't get as many as they want. Nevertheless, though, a 7 elimination Vic Roy.
Oigan, todos acéptenme la solís si quieren ir hoy a mi despedida de soltero, ¿eh? A ver, lo voy a mandar a Soy No.
It's gonna be good, and I feel ashamed a little bit.
Yo
I feel a
Soy
little
No,
bit ashamed
la voy
because
a
I did
mandar
my
porque
predictions.
pues
I didn't
me
even
pasé
put
mi
them
despedida.
because I thought that contestation, that fight they're having in Steamy Stacks may slow them down too much. But so far, out of the 5 games, they've won 2 of them. So they have absolutely been able to, you know, just perform in the games that they do manage to win off spawn. And really apply it to them. So huge congrats to them, and I'm sure for the next 7 games, they're also going to continue to absolutely wow us as the games go on. And speaking of wow, Reese wanted to point out some things that happened in this last game and how the bus pass can affect Storm Surge in the game itself. Yes, sir. So we can see this bus path is kind of going from the northwest diagonally down. You can see the way it follows down here. So this creates a lot of difficulty for some of the teams who are in Steamy Stacks, alongside Dirty Dogs, and also at the same time as Retail Row and Catty. And what I mean by difficulty is that a lot of times they're going to be gliding for a lot longer. Now, what that basically means is that there are going to be some teams and some spots on the map who are going to be able to take advantage of this, right? So places like Trippern, who's drop up here, and also some of these kind of lower dish spots and the Guardian Towers. If we notice now, Trippern, for example, lands on the turret, and you'll not believe the shots he hits here. 40, 40, 40, mustache down, and a dink. So for the fact that Mr. Savage won that, you can thank Trippern in a long, long way for hitting the shots. Now going over to Teak, also landed earlier on the Guardian Tower here. You can see he's got an AR off this, 1 knockdown onto Zebra as well, and a second down onto Psy too. So more third party, followed up by more Storm Surge tanks. So the fact that the bus pass has determined the way that they're going to be able to land, they're just going to be able to get these tags by landing on these high points, and that's hugely impacted that game.
Yeah, and these are the kinds of things that you almost can't control if you're the player on the receiving end, and you know, you sort of feel a bit hard done by in that sense. But nevertheless, you gotta go back into this game and just hope the bus grants you a free pass to land safely. Kiriachi, Sumira, and Touche remain in first place. Rev Scott and Mr. Savage with that victory out will now sit in second, and they're the first team to get 2 victorials in a day, which is pretty nice. I'm sure they'll be happy about that one. And Vidil, O'Reilly, and Aqua sit in third with that crazy clutch from Chapix. I call it a crazy clutch, obviously not you know, crazy by his standards, but Hen and Chapix, you know, they clutched up so many points by just simply staying alive in that end game there.
I mean, the movement that they had was, we were watching it in the back, just kind of losing our minds a bit, because the way that Hen and Chapix were able to navigate through those old builds, not managing to fall into any players, up until Hen hit a massive max damage 175. You know, that was the first time they managed to run into another team, and they managed to pick up an elim. Obviously, you know, Hen then got picked up because they had a duo with them at the same time, but they managed to get that elimination. Then Chapix got them up till 5th as a solo as well. So I think they started that move, and I think there were still, what, like 17 teams alive, and they managed to do that all the way up until top 5. That is the kind of clutches that you need to be having if you're going to be placing in the top 5 in the FNCS.
Yeah, let's take a look at that next page though, 11th to 20th, because of course a lot of these teams are still going to be looking for an opportunity. You can see Chips' trio, they've dropped down in the standings a bit. They were one of the teams to go down a bit earlier last game. We talked about, yeah, you know, we talked about how impressive they were yesterday in the back end. You know, we talked about how they can't afford to start off slow, and this is the slow start we were talking about. They're not out of it yet, but definitely a bit of a reality check, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's punishing, because you've got to remember, like, they were 4th and in a single game have dropped down 8 placement points. And that really just shows how close this top 10 is. That, you know, we've mentioned a lot of times at the top of the show, don't count any of these teams out who are 10th down till that 20th right now. And this proves why. One game can change the swing of things so much, move
huge swings where chips down all the way 8 places. We see obviously Refsguard going from 5th till 2nd now. Hen was 7th, and now they're in 4th from that too. Like, the leaderboard is all going to shake up over the next 7 games.
I'll be real. I still can't get over Hen. When Hen hit that first one in the cracks, I was thinking, fam, he better not hit that other shot. Like, I was thinking it's about to get mad. Like, if you're in the green room, I was about to go crazy, but I was humbled rather quickly, unfortunately. So.
Absolutely insane. We're about to get ready to jump back into more action here from the FNCS in EU. So Fortnite fam, make sure you guys keep up with all the action. Don't forget, watch.fortnite.com, a great place to watch. Party Royale, continue using those emotes, fam. And for now, we're going to send it back over to Sancho West and Shywager to take us into the next game.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Hen might have humbled 11 a little bit, but Sancho, I still feel like there's so much hype to go around in EU right now. That win from Refsguard, I mean, it was there. Savage, you know, Andretta there too. It's not enough to put them in first place. Kiriachi's just kind of holding on way too strong.
Yeah, what really worked out for Andretta's trio is that all those things that we've broken down in the desk as well, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th went down really early in there, and that gave them that opportunity. But this is where it matters. And Andretta, oh no, he takes a big shot with Mustache. That it's a trade that we're going to see how it unfolds, but that's a very scary. This is what I'm talking about, man. Every time when you're contested, it's not guaranteed. No way you're going to have to work for every single point and every single right to be an in-game. And Refsguard will not be joining us here so far because Malibuka gets him eliminated. But Savage naked synced as well. This is not the momentum you want in, but what a great response from Savage.
What a shot. That might just turn the tides of the whole fight. 72 straight over, almost the dome of the man up top. Shizo trying to contest him on positioning. Now they might have a little bit of breathing room to make this 2v3 possible. At the same time, the clock is ticking on Savage and Andretta. The longer they wait, the more time Shizo has to loot, get some heals, the more time Alabuka has and Mustache to get better loot. So he's gonna go straight on the chase, run all the way to Mustache. He's trying to get all the way high in the sky. Might be a possibility for him to affect him there, but it's a trap. Savage, he thought he was already flying. Wasn't the case, and now he has no shields.
The clay effect is real. It happened in day 1, and it has gonna happen here in day 2. When you win a victory royale, you go down early here, so it's all up to Andretta. Nope. Clay done it again.
This is just tough for a team that's contesting the whole time. So impressive that they're 2nd overall. So similar to what Hen, Janice, Chapix were doing last season. I mean, the thing is, though, you know, being all the way towards the top, being this impressive overall cumulatively, how long is it going to last? Because the more games that happen, the more chance you have, you know, 2 games going to back-to-back, you know, completely knocked off on spawn. That might not be the best thing in the world for a team so far in the lead.
Hey, at the same time, we have 8 games here. So, you know, that's going to be an additional 2 bonus games, which has never been done before in the FNCS. The last time we had this bonus game was in Season 4 when we had an extra game there. Mongol, Mitro, and Tayson at that time, they had a huge lead, but then they just started just dying off the rip there. You go into that 50-50 for that start chest. So when they kept this, getting eliminated off the rip, so to speak, eventually, you know, they were able to hold on. And that's the thing that's going to come in, what's going to happen with these bonus games.
We'll see if they can survive that 8-game marathon. Stompy, a little bit of nerves in the mix, a little bit of miscommunication, trying to go for that edit, but it's all good. This Lazy Lake fight will be here for 12 out of 12 games. So impressive for them too, holding on to the lead earlier on in day 1. Now they're kind of falling down the board. Started off, I think, on around 2nd, 3rd place overall, all the way down to 6th now. So they're going to be looking to maybe try to climb back. That means, though, they have to win this fight over and over. I mean, all these teams, Sancho, they're all going to be fighting. They might have 1 game online, 1 game offline. Kiriachi is uncontested off spawn. They're going to keep moving forward, staying first. They had a 2-point difference in their lead starting the day off. And after that last game, it's extended to a 10-point lead. If no one here ends up really owning their drop spot, I feel like Kiriachi can just run away with this. And I know it's really early. We still got 7 more games to play, but I'm just looking into the future right now.
And right now, Pink's future is not looking hot at all. You talked about that slide, and the slide is happening right now, and they kind of vented their frustrations on social media about ZQ making a move right over here. But if you're in ZQ's boots, you have to understand, man, you were getting bullied out of Holly Hatchery. I mean, Void's trio was just on one yesterday, and so you don't want to deal with that anymore. So you take your chances. You find out that literally all it takes is one win off a drop. You're like, okay, I'm going back there again. And that's what happened. That's what is so dangerous there. You know, as soon as you kind of give up your spot, you rotate. The same thing with Malibuka. He lost one. He explored different options. I know one time went to caddy corner because that was vacant, so to speak. And that's why Savage has the momentum. That's the thing when it comes down to these drop spots mentality.
It's all different game to game. It's all different, honestly, when it comes season to season as well as to who's qualifying and where they go entirely. New team, though, entering Lazy Lake as one leaves, it looks like. No, never mind. It's still going to be Voxy on the left side, but they're getting slightly more aggressive before looting, now focusing. And Shadow's also getting focused in this fight that lasted a long time. Red Rush is jumping the gun fast, looking for Joe next. The pinch is coming through with Exterios on the side. Benji Strio's in trouble.
Benji's in trouble right now without Shadows here. Benji and Joe are going to work together, and there's pressure coming from all different sides in the moment here. With the green tack, I know Benji does not want that in his inventory. He wishes he had a pump at his side here so he could just get that maximum damage with the quick edit. Asterios here putting pressure on Joe. As you're seeing Hen drive by in the distance here. Who knows that they might want a piece of this action here. Mappy, Asterios putting more pressure on Benji and Joe. Benji and Joe are going to retreat back into the box here, and that might be just enough, but no, Asterios is still here. Red Rush is now going to provide a different angle. So that scrum is happening. And meanwhile, Ingram coming down from the Central Mountains is going to go into Lazy Lake. There's about 3 now trios here in this fight.
So much more action, so many different angles from everyone here looking to have another big game. This might be one of those games where both trios make it off spawn, and that could really change up the leaderboards. Benji could also clutch, and that could really save his team for the boards, but at 45 HP, it's not looking like, the biggest possibility.
Let me see here. Game notes for game 6. Fan favorites fall early. That is what's happening. Savage went down and Benji goes down. Red Rush, an old school name from the past, the FNCS squads champion here. Now Benji's going to have to move on out. And I just feel bad here. I mean, when you're in the corn in the FNCS finals, things gone wrong. Things gone wrong.
Yeah, you got the lo-fi playing in the background. It's raining outside.
Yep.
I know the vibes. It's tough.
Feels bad, man.
Oh. Pink, though, I think these guys are finally happy and lazy. They're really bunkering down. Similar to, we saw in game 1 when Queasy was kind of jumping on the Savage and they just boxed up in metal. These guys are fully turtling defense mode, not even leaving this house looking for anything, editing. They're just focused on living. And that's what they need to do, Sasha. Look at the zone. Yes. You love talking about this too, right? Lazy Lake. That's home right now in this zone. Like, it's literally central. You can control so much. You can go anywhere you want, north, south, east, west. If they just live off spawn here, they can have a glorious game to come back.
I'm thinking of the Hellfires, those trios, when they find success in Lazy Lake, they bunker down when things get crazy, and they let the third party help them out here. Now, there's not going to be no third parties out here. This is going to be a battle between Art Skills and Andalex's trio, and we're trying to see Andalex kind of come back into form here, and they always make these day 2 adjustments where they get a little bit more aggressive. Last time, Art Skill was just having free reign on these coastal rotates, but Andalex and XWeez 4ZR going to put a stop to that mess. Wait a minute. I said there's going to be no third party. Wait a minute. Why are Kylie? They're here. This is around their area, Camp Cod, and they heard the ruckus, and they made the rotate on the beach.
There's no way this is word of mouth. This has to be some sort of advertising on the South POIs that there's this big fight going on. Boobox flying into from another side. I'm not sure what this is, but a fight at the edge of the earth of sorts.
Do you remember last season where someone was padding into Camp Cod? Like, who padded to Camp Cod?
I mean, things get crazy when the zone's even remotely near the south, and these guys are going to be storm fighting off the island. There's no land to hold on to. Aware Boobak Kylie really going for these elims, really going for, I guess, even, a statement that we kind of own this entire spot of the zone, but isn't it cost them so much?
So much invested, but right now, the greatest investment right now is that choke cannon, so they can kind of stick around here a little bit longer. Now they're going to go ahead and disengage and maybe kind of rotate up to the natural terrain here and wait patiently. So 4ZR is squeeze here, even though they try to get some Storm Surge, maybe get some easy eliminations, are now in trouble. This is just so shocking. No one's supposed to be here.
They came in and they were like, hey, what's going on? Okay, whatever. It's fine. The worst referees I've ever seen in a match of boxing between two different teams. I'm not sure.
No. It wasn't a boxing. That's a pro wrestling referee getting involved. They threw in that metal chair and left. And now we're seeing another fight out here.
What is going on?
Peak Siberia and Force are fighting on the edge of the earth again. This is 7 Swords Force normal rotation. I don't know why T, Cammy, and Seti are down here. Maybe they got pushed out there. And sometimes, like myself, I don't want to go to the beach when the missus tells me we're going to the beach. I want to stay indoors. And that's what happens. Cammy, Seti, and Teak, they get pushed out to the ocean, and they made, oh my goodness. I am in shock. How did that happen? The FNCS Asian champion alongside with Siberian Seventor. Seventor on social media, you know, tweeted out an anime gif, and that man's serious today. I saw it, I was like, well, I think it was from a famous series that involved the name Notes, and I was like, okay, this guy's serious today. He's the Elim Notes anime coming soon to Fortnite.
Now, just look at it this way, right? After all the fights we've seen so far, might have to rebrand from the FNCS to the BPF, the Fortnite private beach fights overall, because that's all we're watching over and over again from this early game. Look at the center of the map where Chapik Shan is kind of rotating. There's no one here. Everyone's already moved towards these southern mountains. EU's experience with how chaotic this zone gets. Maybe that's why everyone's kind of, you know, at the edge of the earth looking to kind of climb all the way atop these really high points of elevation overall. And kind of stopped in his tracks. The taxi's kind of run out of the fair right there. Unfortunate. And wow, there's literally no one here. Everyone's on that south side.
And more people are, you know, where they are. They're here on this coastline, Retail Row. I've been seeing this in the entire day one. The dead side rotations have been popping off all the time, and everyone's just colliding on it. They're trying to 200 IQ to rotate, and then all of a sudden you're just running into this mess of a fight here. Sai, who's been in Retail Row fighting this entire FNCS, is now dealing with a new kind of fighter, and his default coming from Dirty Docks.
I'm dubbing this a sandpaper game of season 7. It's just so rough all around. Every single POI. I mean, Rito Rose still fighting. Rotations free and then abruptly stopped. People off the cliffs on the side of the island. Default going down in a mannerism we've never seen. This is the guy who cleans things up. Miknap about to win this fight with Sai, 2v3 style.
That was great between Sai and his duo mate. They were able to kind of collapse on that, knowing that they're about to be flanked, but it was just a matter of time before the numbers game catches up to them. Minking Up was trying to hold on here with only 4 points to start today. Nice. Wow. That's that's pretty good. Even the odds a little bit, the numbers a little bit better. Now it's a 1v1. They're doing really well with Surge, but if they can win this engagement, the reboot van is right there. And you got to remember, there's still people out there on the beach fighting it out. Patrick here is going to get the reboot van here and go for the. That's a nice play. Now the numbers are back in the favor of Patrick and co.
Yeah, you got Default back. It's like, yeah, you can have Safik. That's all good. We'll bring in Default once again, the closer of the fights at retail. Honestly, the closer of a bunch of Fortnite games too. Going down early might have just been a tech from the CL-centric team. And now Miknap has a much bigger plate to deal with.
Imagine if you had the ability to choose who you want to bring back. That'd be kind of cool. Man. That'd be kind of cool. I would never be brought back. I would always be in the reboot van.
Just have to go there, never really get a card. Food for thought for future seasons, but right now, we're inside some real metal, tough situations. Fast Roki low ground again, Void Karma. Looks like they survived a plane crash or something, like shield kind of low, HP also down, a position that's just really bad. And Fast Roki as well, he's getting bullied down to 8 HP, has to get into his flopper reservoir. You don't usually see that. That's safe for endgame. And
bandies as well.
Striking 187 damage below the threshold for Storm Surge. That pump might not even be enough. It's 212. They have to get an entire Elim and finish it. Fast Roki's going down to Lightning. Karma's going to be next. Now, Tayson's going to be the one that's even faster than that element. I mean, just insane. The second game in a row that Fast Roki can't deal with Surge.
Hey, now Tayson has to deal with this flecking push, but these are the engagements I think that need to bring Vino, Reason, and Tayson back into the running. Right now, they're not doing so hot. They're about in the middle of the board. They're in 11th place going into this match here. But when you've been struggling that entire time with Storm Surge and dealing with so many people rotating in at Analyx with this rotation from coming from the coast coming over here, and now we're seeing the rest of this fight here. Yeah, 2 pads go down. Builds are getting blasted out. Do you have he does have another one. I would love to see
number 3.
I would have just throw a pad in the box. Let's see what happens. You never know. Maybe they blast you out there, but Patrick and Default clean up that fight. Your question is, yes, they bring back Safik as well. So now they're going to be back into it. They're going to have to get all the resources, get back to full strength. They fight out a retail row. And Tayson, Reason, and Vino, they're getting bullied. Flecken kind of pushes them down a bit. It looks like they're trying to value positioning at this moment, satisfied with that Storm Surge fight that they had there with Fesroki's trio. But it's still, man, I really think they got to trust in their box fighting, get in there. I understand they're going for position, they'll early rotate, but you got to catch up here with some elims.
Many teams are just kind of employing these tactics, though. They're baiting teams like Tayson, Vino, Reason into doing what you're saying, right? Going for those fights. Third party roll straight through. If they fought Flecken right there, 4-0 would have been literally there in 5 seconds to clean up after that fight, right? So they have to be very careful. It is their strength, you're right, but they have to play away from their strengths. It's going to be very difficult for Tayson to stay ahead of the game, look towards end games, look towards consistency. They've got what it takes. They'll just, there'll be a lot of temptation to resist.
This is game 6 right now. Second place already gone. We're on board here with first place of Stormy Wright, Kiriachi, and Toos, who their strength has just been, like I mentioned, the word is consistency. They've just been around, been in the top of the end game. They don't go for height. If they're at height, if they get contested, they lose, they drop down quickly. They don't try to expand, they don't try to crank or build fight. They're very intelligent when it comes to end game, and I just feel like really this is just, maybe it might be the masterpiece, the renaissance for Kiriachi, man, and Stormy Wright and Toos. This Russian trio has always been in the running. They've been like a mid-card trio, but now they might be stepping up for that heavyweight fight and being the main marquee trio for the EU region.
I mean, they're definitely extending their lead, first place by 10 points right now. Not separating their position, though, from everyone else. Everyone is kind of tied towards this left side near caddy corner. They have a crescent moon of trios just waiting for the sun to rise, going towards the next portion of the zone. Look at Egram not being aggressive, not even looking for shots. How uncharacteristic is that? Sean VP, the one being bullied and not surviving the clutch. Things are changing now towards these back half of games. Amplify 80 and Matzo, they're activated.
Oh, man.
Move with, Andy before, and both teams survived. This time,